welcome an influential theologist, philosophist, poet, and critic, Johann Gottfried Herder, to our talk show in the heart of Berlin, in the library.
My pleasure to be invited. What wouldn't I do to plant the seed of national pride in our viewers?
I and many others are wondering, Mr. Herder, where have you come to your beliefs on which you are building the whole poetic school?
I studied at the University of Königsberg, and later on I became a clergyman. I was taught by Immanuel Kant, actually, and from him I accepted the points concerning sentimentalism, ethics, and skepticism about metaphysics. Later, when Kant turned very critical, I started to dislike his new ideas. At the same time, I became a protege of George Hamann. This made me understand that I have too little reasons and too much idiosyncrasy. I realized that I am the part of the common people. After that, I went teaching to Riga. In this period of time, I wrote the most of my critic works, which astonished Goethe and influenced his literary future. Goethe secured positions for me as the general superintendent, and I came to conclusions and started criticizing Kant, but this built antipathy to me in many of my readers.
I believe to be speaking for everyone when I say that I am grateful to hear how the literary proto-romantic movement Sturm und Drang started. Could you please elaborate on your background so that we got an idea about the motives in your artwork?
Dear lady, I have been raised among simple people and honest people. I firstly started questioning things around me after reading my father's Bible. I have experienced what life of common people looks like, and this made me appreciate its simplicity and vigor in which they are building our nation. Common people are limbs of body of the nation. This is what makes me appreciate them, and this is how I came to my opinions.
What people are you talking about?
I'm talking about all Germanic people living in artificially separated states. These people possess the same culture, and how can a state defend its culture when it doesn't come together to fight the external threats which are growing like cancer?
The Germans are not united. How can you put them in one box?
One of my strong beliefs is that poets are those who build nations. They show the world to the common people and lead their souls toward it. Poetry was important to every nation before it was united. That's why I, for example, find virtues in German folk music.
Is this why history is so important for a nation?
Of course, I believe that nation has got to be homogeneous and mono-ethnical in order to work properly. It needs the same history, and people have to possess the same values. If people want to build a strong nation, they should be part of something greater, and that is the majestic German culture. They belong to it.
What do you consider an important aspect of a nation?
It is a language. This makes people in one nation understand each other, and this is why I was pleading on German people in my book Treatise on the Origin of Language that they should feel pride and strength in speaking German, even though other nations don't consider this something to be proud of. A language is setting grounds to our thinking and any discussions we have. And the purpose of this book is to enlighten the people about the origins and whether its origins can be explained in human terms. This has to deepen the love of Germans to German language.
And why do you think that other nations despise Germans? Germans actually dislike their language because it is historically considered barbaric. Is this the source of disliking German and Germany?
I never cared. I am a relativist. I do not recognize opinions from abroad. Any opinions worthy of consideration must be made from within the borders of one culture.
Your philosophy sounds to be very close to German people. Are you trying to make the philosophy more useful and practical?
Yes, I took the philosophy of popular philosophy from Emile Kant. One of my greatest quests is to make philosophy useful for the common people, to make the answers a key to the folks' lives. I am addressing these problematics in my 1765 essay, how philosophy can be more universal and useful for the benefit of the people. I am criticizing the concept of metaphysics as perceived by today's philosopher, as it lacks the basis in empirical real-life experience.
So you were aiming to make your philosophy more humane, not to come up with too abstract ideas of their philosophers?
Yes, today's perception of metaphysics is harmful, since it puts the burden of focus away from the empirical nature in human society. This is what we should focus on, and how to make questions and answers with the aim of helping the common people make sense of what their society is like, and thereby strengthen it from within.
And how would you compare your work or works belonging to Sturm and Drang movement to the preceding movement in literature, Enlightenment?
The Baroque enlightened writers and their focus on rationality. Reason doesn't belong among common people. Thoughts don't solve rational philosophical problems. They are not rational. They are individuals. They possess emotion and sentiment. People often lose themselves in their emotion and they feel like they are alone. Sturm and Drang solve their issues and shows them that they are not the only characters in this world.
And what about the movement that followed? What about Romanticism?
Well, Romanticism is close to what we believed in. While we had Sturm and Drang in Germany, Romanticism was already blooming and flourishing in other countries. Germany, though, inclined to what they call Romanticism as well, but the elements focused on individual and emotion remained, so the burden of focus didn't change so much.
Well, thank you very much for sharing all of your interesting ideas with us today.
It was my pleasure.